Hey everybody, welcome back to the latest edition of Inside the Den. Excited to bring you all of Wallace State athletics as it was an exciting week for the Lions in all sorts of sports. We also have an interview with Brooklyn Sertell of women's softball, our currently 12th ranked women's softball team. And so we're excited to hear from her and hear how their season's going as they get ready for a late season push here towards the conference tournament. So lots to bring you, lots to be excited about, lots to look forward to next week. So let's get into it. Okay, first, let's get you caught up on everything that happened this past week. First to the Diamond. Wallace State softball wrapped up their home schedule this week against Calhoun Community College with a doubleheader on Saturday, April 18th, sophomore day, over here at Bobby McCracken Stadium. The Lady Lions split that doubleheader, losing the first game and defeating Calhoun in the second game in 5 innings and a run rule. Lady Lions dominated that second game, jumping out early and ending it in just 5 innings. But Calhoun responded in the second game and handed Wallace a split on sophomore day and a rare loss here at home. The program also honored all their sophomores that day and really had a great day at the ballpark despite dropping one of the games. On Thursday, before that, they played at Calhoun and again split, losing the first game by a slim margin of 5-4, but coming back in the second game to earn the split. Wallace State in that game had strong offensive performances from Charlie Kaiser, who homered and drove in 2 runs, and Reese Decker went 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs in that opening game as well. Baseball also had a conference series with Calhoun, and the Lions had a productive conference matchup of their own. They started at home on the 16th, won both games. Game 1 by a score of 6-3, and game 2 by a score of 11-3. Wallace State broke the second game wide open with a 6-run inning and received contributions throughout the lineup, including multiple RBI performances from Trent Wilson. On Saturday, the 18th, Wallace State goes to Calhoun, dropping the first game 8-6, but coming back in the second to win 13-3 and get a 3-1 series win over the Warhawks of Calhoun. Again, scoring 13 runs in that finale to close the weekend out on a high note. Another headline, one of the bigger headlines of the year, our flag football team, who was 20-0 in their regular season, stepped into an exhibition play in a Tiger Town showdown in the Tiger Town showdown at Clemson University, April 18th and 19th. Wallace State won that tournament, winning all 6 games that they played, including a 13-12 defeat of Clemson in the championship game. Quarterback Emma Kyle, All-American and Player of the Year in the ACC, threw for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns in the championship game, while Mariah Ragland and Talisha Ransom caught touchdown passes. Defensively, Wallace State sealed the win with an interception by Tiandra Carnahan, and that caps off a perfect season and a tournament title for Wallace State. Our golf teams have continued with postseason play. Women's golf finished 3rd in the ACC championship, and that concluded on the 16th of April. Men's golf with a 4th place finish a week or so ago in that same championship. Both those teams will compete in the district tournament here coming up this week, with the men's tournament currently going on as we record. We'll get you caught up on all that a little later. But from conference championships to senior recognition and postseason competition headed down the way, it was a strong week for Wallace State athletics. So now let's get you over to our interview and our catch-up with Lady Lions softball All-American and All-Star Brooklyn Sertell. Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Voices of the Prize segment here today with Brooklyn Sertell, catcher, and all conference hitter for our softball team, on a tear currently and playing really well. I think just reached the 100 career hits milestone. So really playing well for our team and working on that stuff. So welcome to the program, Brooklyn. Thanks for
Thank
being
you.
here. All right, so I want to go back. We're in year 2 at Wallace now. Um, but I want to go back and kind of talk about what drew you to Wallace to begin with. Kind of what was the draw to come to Wallace? Sure, you had several other options to go play softball other places. What was the
See,
draw to come here?
I really going back and thinking about it, like I think this was the first place I came on a visit at ever, and uh, it was my sophomore year, I think, and I came here and it felt amazing. Then Coach Carson Owens was the coach here, and he's a talker. He talked me up the whole time, and just coming onto our campus, I just like it was beautiful. I loved it, and I always knew that this would be like one of the top places. Uh, like if I went in JUCO, this would be where it was. Um, and then you know, me being me, I bombed the ACT. So like no, a lot of not a lot of D1s were really coming or able to even get me after that. So coming closer to time, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to. Wallace, it's the place, and I really did love it anyway. So I wasn't mad about it at all.
Yeah.
And now I'm so blessed that this is the route that I chose. So
Yeah, that's awesome. So, but your path here not without a little turmoil. So, softball program kind of went through.
yeah.
I think Carson Owens. You mentioned Coach Owens. I think there was one more coach in between before Coach Birch, or was
Yes.
that?
It
Yeah.
was Carson, and then the intern was the assistant coach then, and then she left, or I don't know if she got fired or left, but
She left. Yeah.
we hired who's the Sanford coach now. She was here for 3 days,
Yeah.
then got the call Sanford job was open, so she left, and then I want to say it was like right before, maybe a month or two right before we got here, where they finally hired
So
Coach
in
Owens.
any of that, and softball's a different animal than others, but all sports are a little different. So in all that coaching turmoil and turnover and everything else, what made you kind of stick with Wallace State? Because a lot of people, I don't know if it happened in softball and in lots of other sports, people coaches leave, people bail and go other
Yeah.
places. So
Well, I'd always known that like Wallace is all about wins here. Like we're we're not gonna have more than 2 bad years in a row. So they always hire the best people for the job. So I knew we were gonna get someone
yeah,
good.
so just faith in the leadership. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So all right, so we get here now. You're freshman in college. You're learning a new coach. You're all the things, and we got to talk about this because you become a catcher, but prior to college, never put on catcher's gear outside of messing around in the yard ever in your life, right? So talk about that transition from learning how to be a catcher, learning how to do those things.
So it was really just one day right after Christmas break, we
So we
had
have played the whole
practice.
fall. You haven't called even
We
even
had
through the
one
fall season. You
we
hadn't
had
had really
one
called.
catcher. We were very small. Had one catcher last year, and she ended up like not passing her classes, and we were like, where do we go from here? And we've had Brandy, who has caught before, but obviously her strong suit's shortstop and pitching, so we really didn't need her behind the plate. And we had KJ, who is really our starting shortstop and has had multiple concussions, so we can't risk her being behind the plate.
Yeah.
Um, so one day I was hitting, flew out, was mad at myself, and Coach Sally yells my name. I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. I was like, I definitely I either didn't run through the bag on this or something. I'm in trouble. And I go over there, and they're both sitting there, and they're like, "What do you think about catching?" I'm like, "Oh no, never done it before, but you know what? If that's where you need me, I'll do it." And they like put the gear on me that day. It took two people to put the gear on me, get all the straps set up. I've never put it on. I don't know what I'm doing. And then I had a first base mitt, and that's what I had to catch with that day because I haven't had a catcher's mitt. And ever since that day, it just stuck. Yeah.
So now we're enjoying it. Now we know how to put the gear on.
Yeah.
We know how to put the gear
Gotten
on,
fast at it.
and now we're enjoying it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Awesome.
I definitely wasn't what I was expecting my college years were gonna look like, but I love it.
Yeah.
I'm glad it turned out this way.
Yeah. That's awesome. So obviously, when you play like that, if you're not familiar with baseball, softball, those kind of things, like we're trying to find a place to play you in the field because you're a really good hitter. You're really like that. That's we need you. We need you to. You got to be good in the field, but we really, Coach Birch and Coach Hanson, they knew they needed your bat in the lineup, and so talk to us about that. I think just past 100 career hits, hitting a bunch of home runs and really pounding the ball. What what is it? Does it come easy to you? Is it a natural thing? I know you work at it a lot, I'm sure, but is hitting the ball and the hand-eye coordination, that something that came natural to you?
Yeah, I would definitely say it something that came natural because I don't know, growing up I've always been or had like really good vision when it comes to balls and strikes over the plate and everything. Um it's just helped me in the long run with being able to see and being smart in the box on like when not to chase pitches and what to swing at and everything. It's helped me out a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So last year, so let's go there. We get you figured out. We teach you how to put the gear on. We get you in the field. So now we're good there. We have a really good year. Really, really good year last year. You and our whole team um has a really good season and kind of doesn't come up where you want to in the conference tournament, but get to go to the at-large. So I want to kind of fast forward through all that regular season because we got limited time. But we get to the national tournament, we make it as an at-large bid, the last team in the national tournament,
Yeah.
and then you get beat the first day. So talk to us about that. We had Coach Birch on a while back, and she kind of told us a little bit. I want to hear from your perspective and the players, kind of where that came from. All right, our backs are against the wall, and not to spoil it for anybody, that we end up finishing third in the country. Despite losing the first game, which is probably not something that happens very often. So kind of tell us about your national tournament experience out there and how that was.
Yeah, the tournament was definitely we just got through in like we bombed the conference tournament like bad. It was bad. And then we just got through, got the bid, got through out there. Lost. I don't remember how bad it was that first game, but I don't think it was good. I think we might have got like almost
We'll
ran
we'll look,
ruled.
we'll look up the score and
Yeah,
put it on the
but
screen. I don't remember either.
I mean, we got out there after that game. It was just like one of those like calm silences that's not good throughout the whole team, and we were all just like, "There's no way we just flew out here. Parents driving 30 hours, come out here, and we're about to lose 2 games in. Like, there's no way." But luckily, after losing that first game, you get a bye the next day, and you have that day off for practice or whatever you want to do. We had practice, if you want to call it that. We were supposed to go out and practice, but it ended up we didn't touch a ball until probably 2.5, 3 hours into the practice. We ended up splitting up and just like having a big kumbaya come to Jesus moment where it's something we'll all never forget it. It was crazy but amazing the conversations that we all had. And then the next day we came out and it was like a completely new team. Like fire lit that day and we were just on fire.
And I don't want to ask you. You don't have to reveal what was said, Because I know those deals are special among teams, and so I'm not asking you to say what was said, but can you give us kind of the general gist of what those conversations were? What was the general idea behind those conversations?
Well, if you want me to be honest, the conversations had to get held because there was a little bit of drama on the teams at the time, and it felt like it was like holding us back. The conversations basically were you either got grilled into because there's some things that you need to change, or you got keep it up, keep what you're doing. And it was just between us and the teammates. The coaches really weren't involved. And you had like 2 minutes to talk to each other, tell each other what you needed to say, get anything off your chest, or like talk that person up to have a more confidence for that week. Really, within 2 minutes, that's what went on.
And that's awesome. And then win 4 your next 4? 5.
5. We played 2 games the day after, won both of those, and then woke up, played 2 more games, won both of those, and then came, won the first one, and then we were playing to be in the
In the championship game.
championship.
Got beat in a tight one.
Yeah.
So unbelievable run, tons of fun for your team, like you said, moments. Probably you can't even remember the score of the first game. Probably couldn't tell me the score of any of the other 6 games you played out there, but you'll remember that moment, with your teammates for the rest of your life. So that's a really fun story. I'm glad we got to do that. So now fast forward, we're going to now. So we've played a fall season. We're into the season now. I think 10th in the maybe slipped to 12th in the country. Kind of been top 10, kind of teetering on that top 10, top 15 all year. Obviously, super high expectations for the team this year. Um, have another really, really good team in the conference that we recently played in Northeast Alabama, currently number 1 in the country. Unfortunately, got one crack at them in the span of 3 days and dropped all 4. But I just kind of talk about your team and your approach to this year after finishing 3rd in the country and kind of how we've kind of carried forward expectations into this year.
Uh, I would just say our team's very it's a big player led team, and I think that's why we have so much like confidence and just push through stuff is because like last year, besides one starting sophomore, we were all freshmen.
Yeah.
And carrying that into this year is just, I mean, it's special that we're able to have basically the exact same team minus one person and bringing in what 12 freshmen,
Yeah.
12 freshmen that are jumping on the ship with us every day, putting in everything they have, and just keep going throughout the year as a team.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so now currently I think in a tie for second now with the 4 losses um but again ranked in the top 15, great chance to make the national tournament and go out there again. Um talk to us about the season you've had and because again off to a great start. I know there's a lot of season left, a lot of work to do, but off to a great start. I think I don't know what it is now. At one point batting around 600. Um and so kind of what do you think has gone into that? Because that's not always easy to back up a great freshman campaign. Now everybody knows you're coming. If they didn't know before, now they know you're coming. They're trying to figure out that's when pitchers are having meetings, they're trying to figure out how we're gonna get Brooklyn out, how are we gonna get her out, and so far not very much success being had there. So what do you think has contributed most to your success in your sophomore year so far?
Um, I would say, mm, I would say mostly just being like confident in the box and being able to have the eye of like the strike zone that I have because I know a lot of pitchers probably get told like if you're gonna hit the plate, the ball better be touching it. But yeah, I've definitely learned since we started conference, that my batting average has gone. It's been going down, but I found it. We played Saturday, and I found it Saturday, but the past week and a half has been a little rough for me.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
But yeah, I think now I'm batting right at 500. We're hoping to bring it back up, pushing through on the end of the conference.
Yeah, there we go. That's awesome. What else about this team? What do you think? What do you think about this team? You touched on a little bit. That kind of feels like everybody's all in. What else about this team makes it feel like you guys have a chance to make another special run?
Um, like I said, being player led. That's one thing that even Coach Sally preaches on. Like, she loves how we're player led, and we, like, when we mess up, we rely on the person next to us to pick us up. You just know constantly throughout any games, when you mess up, there's someone right next to you to pick you up. So the person right behind you is gonna pick you up.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. All right, last thing, and we'll let you get out of here on this one. But I have to ask. It's an unfortunate reality of Wallace State that you only get to stay here 2 years. So after this year, they're not going to let you come back. We're not going to have any more classes to take. You're not going to have any more eligibility to play for Wallace State. So um, I know you haven't made a decision yet. Lots of suitors um, going. Kind of give us an insight on where your recruiting kind of sits
Well,
currently.
currently, all I can say is me and Coach Molly are working on signing a petition to make it a 4-year. No, but really, I have no clue right now.
Yeah.
Just going through. I'm trying not to focus on any recruiting things because it's still honestly really early on for softball. A lot of offers will come like towards the end of conference and nationals, but there's been a couple coaches. I've had a good bit of coaches reaching out and reach on to me or Coach Sally, so we'll just see where it goes.
Awesome. Well, look, we look forward to tracking you the rest of the way here at Wallace, and hope to enjoy another deep national tournament run before you get out of here, and following you for a long time, because I know you're one of the campus favorites around here at Wallace State. So thanks for being here today. That's Brooklyn Sertell from the Wallace State softball team. Lions this week. Here we go. Busy week as we inch closer and closer to postseason play for all these teams, with some of it starting. Men's golf currently, as we record, competing in the district championships down at Lagoon Park in Montgomery, Alabama. Those look to conclude as the men look to finish off the year and qualify again, and a repeat qualification for the national tournament to be held later in May. Women's golf also tees it up today is the beginning of their 3-day district championship in Oxford, Alabama, as they'll look to qualify again and look to improve upon their last year's 5th place finish in the national tournament. So good luck, as those guys will bring you results of those on next week's show. Baseball has a doubleheader this Thursday at Chattahoochee Valley. First game starting at 12 p.m. down in Phoenix City, as they'll get started with the second game to follow shortly after. Friday, men's and women's tennis will play a match against Jones College in Meridian, Mississippi. The women will likely determine the 1 or the 2 seed for the national tournament based on those results, as both those teams won the ACCC championship last week and qualified for the national tournament. So just a tune-up match there, but we'll likely have high stakes for our women's team. Men likely to enter as the 1 seed regardless of results there, but we'll get you that full breakdown of the tournament as it gets closer. And then to conclude the week, Saturday, baseball at home versus Chattahoochee Valley, for a doubleheader. You can catch the first game of that at 1 p.m. on Saturday, and with the second game shortly to follow. So again, as always, with spring sports and outdoor sports, be sure you're following us on Facebook, X, Instagram, all the social media platforms so you don't miss any necessitated schedule changes by unpredictable spring weather. But that's what the Lions are up to this week. We hope to see you at the field if you're close by. All right, that's our show for this week. Thanks again for following along with everything Wallace State Athletics. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify so you never miss an episode. Soon to be coming on some more platforms to make us easier to access. But for now, YouTube, Spotify, make sure you're following. Make sure you're following along on all social medias. And until next time, I'm Drew Wilson. This has been Inside the Den, and go Lions.